even though George Bush himself had called him and asked him to pull out. And that was John McCain. And that was John McCain who could not bring himself to vote for George Bush. I think this is very significant as a sign of how far he's gone. And that's why in that chapter on the hijacking of John McCain, I kind of catalog all the different ways in which that John McCain is no more.
Explain. Take them point by point.
Let's just take some of the critical ones. The agents of intolerance. Remember, he famously called the religious right, Jerry Falwell, Pat Robertson, the agents of intolerance. And then he really has completely embraced them, and has even sought the endorsement of John Hagee, which has not gotten enough attention in the media. On tax cuts, he said he could not, in good conscience, these were his words.
Just on the issue of John Hagee, Keith Olbermann yesterday was playing the comments of John Hagee only this past week, where he had said that Hurricane Katrina was retaliation for a gay rights parade that was going to be taking place, washing away the sin. Then he took that back. Then last week he stuck right to it again.
It is truly unbelievable that this is not getting more play. But that, again, is part of what I'm arguing, that the media have not updated their image of John McCain and therefore keep giving him a pass again and again. So moving on to tax cuts, the words not voting for a tax cut in good conscience were very John McCain. The word conscience is a word that we don't often hear in American politics, but he used it. So to hear him now, and he voted against them twice, so to hear him now say that he will make them permanent, it's just unbelievable. So I've had this sort of series of moments of when he would do things which I couldn't believe he would do. On immigration, in a Republican primary debate, he basically said he would not be voting for his own bill. And then for me, there are many other instances, but for me the most crushing one was on torture. When this man who was tortured voted against the bill in Vietnam, voted against the bill to prevent the CIA from using torture. This man who had previously, in opposing torture, had said it's not about who they are, it's about who we are.
And authored the McCain anti-torture bill.
Exactly.
Which Bush signed, but signed a signing statement, which meant he didn't have to fully abide by it.
Yeah. So
But after that.
But after that, yes, he voted against the bill that would have made it impossible for the CIA to use torture legally. So that, and if you take all that and then add the 100-year war statement, which the media now are trying to soften and say he didn't really mean to be there, in terms of this being a war, but more in terms of the way we are in North Korea or is in South or Germany. Well, nobody's dying in Germany. But so, as Rick Hertzberg wrote in The New Yorker, is he basically arguing that we should be in Iraq indefinitely, let more and more soldiers die until we will continue to be there without them dying? It doesn't make any sense. It's just basically a kind of strange Lovian love of war, and especially this continuous obsession with Iraq.
Why do you think not only John McCain has changed, but the media has changed in dealing with him? Or have they never hardened?
No, I think the media have not changed in dealing with him. The media drank the Kool-Aid, in 2000, and for very good reason, and I was one of them. And now we all need to wake up and realize that the most dangerous thing that could happen to this country is electing John McCain in 2008, because this country absolutely cannot afford a third term of George Bush, and that's what John McCain would be offering.
As you talk about the mainstream media, or the not-so-mainstream media, you've also established the Huffington Post. You're the editor-in-chief of it. What are you trying to do with the Huffington Post that has become an extremely popular site online?
Basically, we're becoming an internet newspaper. And by adding different sections, that are not about politics, on media, business, entertainment, living, we're bringing in people who may not agree with us politically or may not even be particularly political. So we are hoping to be expanding who we are speaking to. And that's part of what I feel is generally what is happening in American politics right now. It hasn't been commented enough on, which is that the center has shifted. What used to be considered left-wing positions, pulling out of Iraq, universal health care, corporate responsibility, doing something about global warming, are now completely mainstream positions. We have 60–70% of people in favor of these positions. The right has shrunk. The right is that 28% who still approve of George Bush. But the media still insists on describing everything as right versus left.
The Huffington Post says that Hillary Clinton could drop out by June 15th. What do you know?
Lawrence O'Donnell wrote that. That's one of our bloggers, yes, having talked to insiders. In my conversations with insiders in the Clinton campaign, it seems that practically everyone around her realizes that this is now a lost cause. And it is really up to the two of them to realize it. I think Bill and Hillary are having a real problem at the moment in dealing with the realization that this is over.
Just she has admitted now loaning, $6 million of her own money to the campaign. Why did you come out so early for Barack Obama? The site has never endorsed Barack Obama, and we've provided a platform to many people who've written passionately about Hillary Clinton. I met Barack Obama at Norman Lear's home before he was a senator, before his famous speech at the convention, and I was very inspired and moved by his opposition to the war in Iraq, which for me is the major issue of our time. And so the fact that Hillary Clinton had not only voted for the war, but had supported the war for so long after, indeed right up to the primary, was the main problem that I had with her, which overcame the fact that I obviously would have loved to see a woman president in my lifetime. Well, I want to thank you very much for being with us. Arianna Huffington, our guest, her book has just been published, Right is Wrong, How the Lunatic Fringe Hijacked America, Shredded the Constitution, Made Us All Less Safe, and What You Need to Know to End the Madness. That does it for our broadcast. Democracy Now! Is produced by Mike Berkshire, Fabio Cadus, Aaron Mate, Angelique Hammett, Jeffrey Hageman, Steve Martinez, Nicole Salazar, Hani Massoud, Robbie Karen, Mike DeFilippo, Miguel Noguera, and Peter Curries, our engineers. Special thanks also to Becca Staley, Hugh Grant, Rebecca Silver, Angie Kiefer. I'll be in Michigan this weekend, tonight in Detroit at Wayne State University, tomorrow morning at 9 in Lansing, at noon at Borders and Ann Arbor, and in the evening at Grand Rapids. You can go to our website, democracynow.org, for more information and the details on all of those stops. Also, special welcome to the world to Nora Jane Moynihan. I'm Amy Goodman. Thanks so much for joining us. This is Democracy Now!